So today we are looking at price changes. We're looking at the best budget cards, some of them that you can pick up that are on the decline. Now, first and foremost, we'll go through a few of the news, as we've got 3 articles here from Pokebeach. We've got the first partner booster packs. These are going to be releasing in America and going to be very similar to what we saw during the Celebration era, and it should hopefully be that we do get some starter cards in. This is naturally going to be for the 30th Celebration, and more news will follow on this one. Obviously, they have confirmed that we will be getting this Pikachu on Pokemon Day across the whole world, so that should be interesting in itself. So it's just a little bit of an update. More than likely we will get that very soon. Before we get into the starter deck, as that card looks amazing, we have got the brand new Chinese kind of new exclusive set coming in January 16th, which is going to be Blade Awakened. It's going to be the Ninja Terraform, and we are going to be getting this exclusive card right here. So this is going to be only in Chinese, so if you want to get it, you either buy it singularly or you go and open the Blade Awakened. They're also going to have the Greninja EX as a beautiful card from Twilight Masquerade, which is obviously coming in this set, and a few others, as it says, from Temporal Forces, Twilight, and also Shrouded Fable. We're also getting with this a set that you can buy. You can buy 5 card booster packs, 1 card and 1 coin for $5.50. I don't know what that is in pounds, probably like £4. Each 1 card is either going to be a Pokeball Reverse Holo, a Master Ball Reverse Holo, or one of the EXs for the double rares, so they're going to be interesting in themselves, and as always, Master Balls are going to be very difficult to get. We also then have the coins, which is going to be very difficult to get the golds, but in general there's going to be 30 coins that you can get, and there is also going to be a pocket sleeve or a coin purse as such that will be able to hold up to 30 coins, which I believe is going to be all of these anyway. So if you wanted the whole set, then naturally I would just go and buy them singularly. But we do have a little bit more on the starter deck. Now, these are going to be some more exclusive cards coming from them, and some of them look absolutely stunning. As we know, Erica is being added into the trainer partners. We've obviously got the Ericas, Oddish, Gloom, and then also Vileplume EX looking beautiful. But not only that, we have the Bellsprout, which I do think they kind of missed out on a trick here, because they didn't give the illustration for a Mega Victory Bell. They just went with a standard, and they went with this absolute stunner. This is going to be a beautiful card in person, the lovely Tangela, as well as the common one. We're also getting a very good Pikachu coming in this star deck, so already they are shaping up very nicely, with Slurpuff as well coming out with an illustration, and also Mega Ordino coming in with the EX as well, and then a couple of trainer cards as we do go through. But that is going to be all of the news that we've got for right now. Now we look at kind of how do you find the budget cards. We're going to look through this and try and make this almost maybe a weekly or bi-weekly series where we go over to Collector, because they have introduced a feature now where we can go for the price changes. Now, sometimes what you want to do is definitely have another look on these and see where the price is going. So, for instance, if we was to look at something like this Pikachu Gold Star, naturally this is a bit of above the budget, which is just an example for right now. A good way to look at it is go into TCG, and you want to go in, and it is an EX. So if we just type in Pikachu and go high to low, it should be relatively one of the high ones in there. So, in fact, I don't even know if I could potentially go, and if we just put in Pikachu Gold Star, it might pop up because of that. Maybe not. So otherwise, if you wanted to obviously just find the set, if you couldn't find it straight off the bat, naturally it will have it here. So, for instance, if we click in this, it's in the Holo Phantoms, and it will give you that set as well. So, naturally, what you want to do then is just go through all of the sets. The EX is very vintage, so this is why we won't look at too much when it comes to vintage, because naturally, we know the price kind of there can just be a random spike for absolutely no reason, and sometimes it just might not be. It might just be a slight correction. But if we were to look at the singles on this, you've got the market value, obviously it's out of stock, and most of the Holo Phantoms secret rares are going to be in mega price. And to be honest, when it comes to a card like this, the detail is going to be very difficult to find if it's true or not. Now, if you was to do this, for instance, if we have a look at the Umbreon VMAX, a lot easier to find. You can most definitely find that as a bit more of a modern card. You'll find a lot more data on that one, which is going to be fantastic. This is coming in at 1.5 thousand because obviously this is GBP. We're looking this in dollars because TCG doesn't unfortunately change it. But we are looking again very kind of up and down here, but we're seeing that at 1.3. So it's good to always have that comparison. Another good place to obviously look at and see whether it's worth it or not is going to be looking at the eBay sold as well, especially in your country. If obviously you're in the UK, you could see different prices maybe going in America and vice versa. The UK might have something that America doesn't have a crazy amount of for whatever reason. So there's always definite kind of things to look at. But again, eBay is going to be a great one. If you was to look, for instance, just at the kind of Umbreon VMAX, just to make life a little bit easier, what you can do from here is obviously we'll look at the Umbreon VMAX and we'll go for, what is it, 215. That should obviously give you the price pool, obviously ungraded. So we want no ungraded. And then you want to go from there. What you can do is you can see the prices naturally here. Some of them obviously read description. I don't particularly want to. But what I can do from here then, if I go a bit further down, I could put UK only because naturally I want to see there to start with. If you don't see the price you want, you can obviously see what the kind of import rate would be. And then obviously we look at the sold items. So at the moment we can see them. Okay, we're looking at 975 realistically. Again, whether these are near mint or not, this is possibly going off an overall average. But you can even see 1.2. You obviously see here. We can go and look at the listing and see the actual original. So see the original listing. We can obviously have a look and see, as you see, there's a little dent in that corner. Whether these were sold as near mint or not, or if it was lightly played. Obviously, people will have different kind of ways of going about what they priced them at. We've got 1.6 near mint, obviously 1.5, 415. Why on earth is that? Has that been absolutely chewed up? Oh yeah, look at that. Imagine not knowing that card and then chewing up the corners like that. Like that is, oh my. Yeah, so you can kind of clearly see that some of them are obviously going to go for a slightly different price. But the way that I'd kind of look at these kind of budget-friendly ones is by looking down a bit further. So naturally, if you've got the Collector Pro, you can sort by language. You can also do by price range as well, which is always nice. But for right now, I'm going to just show and go through a few of them. What I would suggest is looking at kind of like your Mega Evolutions, your Phantasmal Flames when this came out. That's going to be very difficult because the percentage of drop is going to be massive within the first like month or so. So I would definitely suggest looking towards more of like your older sets. Like if we're looking like 6 months and below, you then kind of want to see why that card has all of a sudden dropped in rating. You can see a lot of these being vintage, so you can kind of see these going down. You got obviously a little bit of promos as well. But if we do keep going down, it's good to commonly cheap a little checkout on like the Victini. We can obviously see the Charizard being a little bit of a dipper there. And then obviously what we could do from there is go ahead and have a look. So we can go into TCG and we can go and have a look at that set specifically. So we know Paldea and Fates, very good set in itself. It's been out a marginal amount of time now. So we are seeing that to potentially be a set that's well worth looking at. It's an interesting one to kind of get their singles and think, why is it dropping? So obviously, again, you want to have a look and you kind of see where we can kind of go from there. So at the moment, by the looks of it, it isn't really dropping on here. It's 246. Again, what you can obviously do is go over to here and we can have a look and see if the prices are it. Now, the big thing with kind of going through all of these different entities of kind of, what are they? I suppose they're like TCG monitors of price. You kind of want to trust a lot of the selling sites more so than Collector. Collector's going to be great for that initial data. Obviously, you can go ahead and search the cards on TCG, but it doesn't give you a price change. But for instance, if we look at here again, we can look at graded, no thank you. And then from there we go again, UK and sold. So we can already see like already the prices. It's crazy because we've obviously got this here, 246. So you take that as gospel. Even if you kind of looked at the view more data, 223, 284. These are all near mint. So obviously these are just the first ones I've looked at. I don't know if they are near mint yet. But realistically, that is a drastic bit of price. Like you're not really going to get that too much. So if we look at that at say we call it 230, dollars in pounds, that's going to be 172. The rate is actually pretty spot on. I really don't know the rate of that, but naturally you want to make sure that you are obviously in your currency. But even then, if I do 250, that'd be closer to the 200 mark in pounds. But we can obviously see some. We got 132 here. Whether this is going to be a near mint or not, that's kind of a good assumption to find by the looks of it. I would like it to be a little bit closer though. But by the looks of things, like straight off the bat, that looks fine. Like there might be specs to not give it a 10, but I mean in terms of cornering, in terms of what you can see just from this very slow image, it looks decent enough. Like in fact, I can. Oh, there we go. So actually, I don't know. You got a little bit of corner there, but naturally you could ask for better pictures. But it doesn't look. It's definitely not damaged in any way. So naturally, you're kind of looking at these at 1, 2, 3. I'm assuming this is going to have a bit of corner damage or something. But this is kind of your best place to have a look for stuff. We've kind of got a bit more images, but it does look relatively standard there. There's nothing really too crazy. Anything on the back? Maybe a little ding there if that's not just the corner. A little bit in the top. Nothing really about. Again, you got some slight whitening, but in terms of near mint, like that's as near mint as you're going to get. It's not a 10, but it's a near mint card. Then obviously we look further down. If we was kind of looking at some of the kind of easier cards to look at, what we're kind of featuring now is we want to see where the mega cards are coming in, because we saw them rise up in price as we was getting into the Mega Evolution era. That's going to be where now we can kind of have a look. We see potentially a Bubble Mew coming down at 770, Gengar 1% at the moment, and yes, these may not be all-time lows or anything like that, but they're definitely worth at least a slight look in, because we know we can see it coming down a little bit. It has obviously rose since August. Obviously September was a big month for it, but it is going down again, so we want to kind of see these patterns, and that's kind of where I personally would look at a lot of the cheaper cards. So as I would look at a very budget card, I'd probably go the lowest to be, say 40 at this point. So we'll go 40 and see what it can kind of churn up with. And yes, if you go too far down, it might start giving you percentages on reverse hollows and stuff like that. But as we see here, we can see a lot of the vintage coming in, which is fine. But what you want to be looking at is kind of looking at these random cards here as it took off. No, that is it. I mean, it's miscellaneous. I know it says it's English, but it's certainly not. We've obviously got the Celebrate Japanese promo, but as we keep going further down, this is kind of where you want to see, and potentially where you would look at more of your kind of specific sets. So we can see the Moltres coming in there. Got a few of the tag teams that are going down a decent amount, mainly because, again, like the Mega Revolutions, they were the hot next topic, and they most definitely certainly went up. This is where we want to see, where does the downwards turn, and do we buy now or not? We can see the graded price absolutely plummeting from there all the way up. What we're looking at in July at 264, now down 104, which is just absolutely crazy. And again, what you want to do with this is potentially see, okay, well, the floor prior to this was looking at like your 40 to 50 zone. If this does drop down to like your 70, 60 price, you're almost at the floor again. So maybe it's a potential to potentially pick it up again, whether you want to go for PSA 10s or not, or you can obviously look at your CGCs or stuff like that if it is available. But naturally, that's always a good thing to be having a look at when it comes to it. If we were looking at a few of them, obviously you've got your Phantasmals there. You've got some promo cards that are going to be fantastic for this. And what you can do is, for instance, what we'll do instead is, if you go right to the top again, instead of just searching the product, you should be able to go ahead and go into the sets. And for instance, go into Pokemon here, and we can kind of have a look, and we've got my collections that are slightly updated. But what I can do is go into the kind of previous sets, look at a nice journey together, and you can obviously go from price from low to high. And we can just see, is there anything that stands out to you here? Obviously, look at the Ribombee coming in at £4, 8% loss. You got £3.70. You've got £8. Like, I mean, that Clefairy, it was selling at 15 at the start of the set. Now, obviously, dropping down massively. Is it a potential to pick up a few? Again, when we look a bit further down over here, you will get a few of them that are going in. So if we go from high to low now, you can kind of see some of the sets, and we'll do the opposite as well. Looking at the big rises at this point, we got 8% on a Zoroark, we got 10% on a Zacian. So very interesting to see. You've got obviously a 0.30% on Articuno, so hence why it's not in there as a big overall set. But it's kind of what I would like to do in terms of looking at some of them, especially as you go through the sets and see one or two of the big kind of low ballers here. Obviously Pikachu is continuing to drop on this point, which is just absolutely scary. It is dropped so much, which to be honest is fine. It has got the Phantasmal Flames Pikachu now as well, which is just phenomenal. But you can kind of see we did have a little bit of surge back up from 194, starting to come down again. Whether you want to take this as a potential as like a lowest price, we kind of have a look at this on something like TCG. You might be able to see this as a longer kind of form, so we can see it at the moment. If we go for the whole year again, you can kind of see it dipping down, and again it's gone up a little bit more and it's starting to dip once more. This is kind of like the starting price. We was pretty much up at the absolute max. I think it was at about 550 to begin with, or 450 in terms of UK price, and then it's just took a plummet. So to be honest, I would say this is nearly at an all-time low here. If we're looking at anywhere south of 190, that's going to be a chance to potentially buy. We've never seen it that low. If you want to hold off and see whether it keeps going lower, it's again a total game that you can go with, but this is the lowest we've ever seen the card, so it's an interesting buy potential going forward. Again, we've obviously got a lot of the SARs coming in. These were high cards to begin with. We've seen this just absolutely dip as we go. It is an SAR. It's a stunning one at that. Like, I love the rainbow borders. We can kind of see this coming in now. If this can get anywhere below like a 15 mark, that's an easy pickup. It's an easy pickup. For me, I still need to get this for my Surgeon set. What I might do is if I can get it at buy 2 for 30, I'm more than quids in there that naturally this could turn around in the future quite a comfortable amount, to be honest. We've got Feebas coming in at 367. Any cards at like £2-3 are always going to be great in near mint condition if they are like an illustration of a semi-decent either artwork or semi-decent Pokemon. They're naturally going to do well in the future. It's always a common case. As long as Pokemon is readily available, it's still in that hype, or at least not the hype market, but like people are still collecting, they're still producing sets, it's going to be a collectible. It always will be. That is just Pokemon in itself. We then see a bit of Bulbasaur, one of the highest in this set, so it would be nice to find a purchase time. 33, we're down again. We should have bought it around here. If you can get this card for anywhere like 30 and below, like, you're absolutely winning on that one. It is a very sought after card. We got 16, a 6% down. Terrapagos being the crowned champion of this set, it was massive. Like, I think when it first came out, it was kind of tailing between the 100 mark, and it is just came down ever since. 20 and below, and this card is absolutely brilliant. It's such an easy one. Again, I like the rainbow borders. And then we got Lilip obviously coming down a little bit more. Not too much as well when we're looking at the kind of cheaper priced of them. Shrouded Fable is going to do the same as well. I think they're going to be a very easy one to look at. We're seeing 5% drop on the Houndoom card, which is one of my favorites. Again, all-time high at 38, looking at 21. Again, kind of looking in the summer pricing, that's kind of where it was really at its nice low point. Whether you did take advantage of that and started to kind of collect again, it would have been a great move. We see, obviously, the Shrouded Fables Persian. Again, not jumped up too much here, and this is kind of the one, like, you could have took the risk of being 25 the lowest as it was going down, and it did go up a little bit, and it's starting to come slightly a bit more down. So I'd probably say whether we see another bump up because of the 30th anniversary, that's going to be the real question with this. And what I do want to see is when we do get to January, whether the actual Greninja takes any sort of bump will be a big one. I'm not really seeing too much chances, down 50p. That again it took a massive jump up, which was huge. I actually had like 3 of them just because I bought some sets. I managed to just collect a few of them. I didn't even know I had them, and they all went for a very nice price as well. What I do want to see is where we got the high price. Greninja is actually up at the moment, up 20p, but in general it will be very, very interesting to see where this card does land at this point, because we've seen the upmarket, whether we see the Chinese take any credibility out of it or not. 151 is always going to be another one that you can kind of look at, and the price changes at the moment. These are an easy pickup. I did a whole segment on 151 as they were very, very easy cards to look at and really try and find. So I do think all of them in general are a very, very nice price at the moment. I know you have a few that are obviously on a high as well, which they always will be, but not by a crazy amount. They are very much up and down slightly, but I do think at this point right now, they're at a pretty good buy time. I would say if we're looking at them like they are slowly, we looked at it probably around here as it was coming down a little bit. We can kind of see the movement slightly coming back up, but it's not a crazy amount. Like I say, summer was definitely the buy time for a lot of these cards. The one thing I do want to see is we will kind of go further back in other videos, but naturally we're looking mainly at the Scarlet and Violet set. Because we're moving out of it, it's becoming that non-shiny thing anymore. We're starting to see a lot of these cards just go for a lot cheaper than when they were. Now, obviously, some will naturally have not been the top. Like, really, we're only looking at like a 5 to 10 pound difference in both of these peaks. But really, that can be a big peak in some cards. Naturally, if you do that for 100, 200, 300 cards, becomes a lot. Like, even here, like, you look at, well, I mean, that's a massive difference. Whether that's just because of a certain artist or not, but that's from £5 all the way up to 26 is absolutely crazy. I would definitely not be touching that card until it reaches at least the £5 mark again, whether it even does, but that will be interesting. And we've got Wiglet coming in with a little bit of a rise, up to 8, so it's not necessarily too crazy with that one. But these are kind of the ways that I would be looking at cards at the moment, especially looking at your Scarlet and Violet sets, having a look and just seeing is there any deals that you can obviously get. The Raichu, it's a big fan favorite card. Tyranitar, again, another fan favorite card. We can see it slowly coming down like that. It's almost at the absolute minimum of what summer was, and it seems to be most cards hit their absolute lowest for the year, other than kind of like the rise. They hit the minimum for the year pretty much around that time. So to be as close as you can, if you can get that for around 32, 33, if you can even get it for 30, it's an absolute steal. We know the hype is going to be massive when it comes to the 30th anniversary. Same, we saw the Tyranitar here at 42, 31. If you can meet it in the middle, you're going to do all right with it. So it is a very interesting time, and you want to obviously assess what you think is going to be good. The ways I personally look at something like this: artwork, the specific Pokemon. The artist sometimes can be a lasting effect, but it's not always. But like even looking at something like this, if you are looking at it as a detailed version of itself, Pyroar, obviously the male version on top, Litleo following. We've obviously got the female Pyroar with a Litleo over there, and then a male here as well. There's depth to the card. It may not be the absolute all-time great, but there is a chance that potentially this gets picked up. Cards sometimes can have an up and down. The full arts are the only ones. I'd be just looking at £1 if you can. They're just naturally always going to be around that sort of price. But definitely have a look at Collector. I do think it is a very easy to use formula to have a look and see what cards are coming in where. Like I say though, don't always take it as gospel. Sometimes you do need to double check across multiple platforms, especially if you are looking to make a big purchase or a big quantity purchase. It's great to see card actual vendors in general, because they might be able to give you a good price. eBay is obviously great to see what is sold straight off the bat, and then TCG does have a good market for it as well. But most of the cards are on that same sort of level. Like, they are very close to price. They may not be absolute exact, but they are very close to what happens in this market as well. So definitely do check that out. We'll kind of make this a running series potentially, where we do every week, we kind of pick X amount of sets and just see where cards go. If you'd like that, leave a card down below. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.